If the last 4 months have felt strangely introspective, you're not imagining it. Jupiter, the planet of growth, meaning, and opportunity, has been moving retrograde, which means expansion hasn't been happening out there in the world. It's been happening inside you. But on March the 10th, Jupiter stations direct. And what begins to move now will reveal whether you're ready to expand or if you are wanting to continue playing small. Since October, Jupiter has been asking us to turn inward. Jupiter retrograde rarely brings obvious external progress. Instead, he invites philosophical excavation. That's the best way to put it. So, over the last 4 months, we've had the opportunity to examine the deeper beliefs shaping our lives, beliefs about success, belonging, and meaning. And some people, yes, they've been spending this period pushing harder, but others, perhaps you, have felt this pull to dig deeper and to question inherited narratives, to notice where fear or old conditioning may have been quietly directing the course of your life. So, Jupiter retrograde asks us to separate the real from the false. So, when Jupiter stations direct on March the 10th, something begins to move again. And it's not really the beginning of our story or whatever story you're living right now. It's more like a moment of integration. The insights that surfaced during the retrograde period now want to be lived, they actually want to be expressed. And here's something that you need to understand about Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, which means you cannot align with Jupiter from a position of contraction. I go on more about this in my book on Jupiter. I speak about Jupiter in myth, in astrology, and also energetically, how he aligns with expansion. And I recount an interesting story here about Jupiter because the planets tend to show up in my dreams, and Jupiter shows up in my dreams as a turbaned sage, really. He shows up as this man in a green turban. That's how I know it's Jupiter. And one day he showed up in my dream while I was writing this book and said to me, the opposite of expansion is not just contraction. It's not only contraction. The opposite of expansion is protection. And that was interesting. And I go into detail here on what that means. But basically, you cannot align with Jupiter from a position of shrinking, which is this contraction, of shrinking and of holding back, but also from a position where you are protecting. You are so afraid, in other words, a fear that you are protecting yourself to a point where you are just keep reverting back to safety. At some point, you have to test yourself. You have to be willing to take that step out into territory that has been unexplored. You have to be able to say, okay, I've never been down this particular road, but I refuse to play it safe now. I want to try something new. Okay, so you cannot meet Jupiter's energy while you are shrinking yourself. You cannot meet Jupiter's energy while you are continuously playing it safe or waiting until you feel completely certain. Jupiter is always asking you to move toward possibility, toward growth, toward the next horizon of your life, of your own life. Jupiter, by the way, doesn't work alone. No planet works alone. You know, it's the same principle that applies to us. We do not live, no man is an island. We are not here to just, be by ourselves and be out of relationship or not in relationship with others, with the land, with the world. And the same with the planets. The planets do not act alone. And Jupiter in particular has a very important relationship with Saturn because Jupiter's expansion is balanced by Saturn. We meet Jupiter archetypally around the age of 12 when the world suddenly feels larger. So between the ages of 12 and 27. Between then, our imagination expands, possibility opens. We begin to sense that life could be bigger than the small world of childhood. That sense of expansion tends to carry us through our teens and early 20s. But around age 27, around the age of our Saturn return, things change, often quite dramatically. Why? Because reality arrives. Saturn asks us a difficult question, really, at that time. At our Saturn return, the question becomes, what is actually possible for you, for us to achieve here? What is real? What is feasible? So Saturn doesn't actually block Jupiter's growth. He focuses it. He asks us to concentrate our energy so it isn't scattered. So while Jupiter visions and dreams, Saturn builds. And real success, by the way, requires both. Requires the vision, but also the structure and the focus. Right now, we are living inside a Jupiter-Saturn cycle that began in December 2020, which is when Jupiter and Saturn met at 0 degrees Aquarius. You may have remembered that awesome, very important conjunction in 2020. And that conjunction planted a new seed. It didn't only plant a new seed in the collective story, it planted a new seed in your story. And we are now in the Jupiter-Saturn square phase of that cycle. And when I call up the chart, when we're going to look at the Jupiter stationing direct chart, I'll show you what this looks like. But basically, Jupiter's in Cancer, Saturn is in Aries, and this is a square aspect. And squares always bring adjustment. Well, they demand adjustment. They ask us to work with the opportunities that first appeared at the beginning of the cycle. Think back to 2020. And they ask us now to refine these ideas, these opportunities, and to commit to them and to build something real. So as Jupiter stations direct, a very important question begins to emerge, especially between now and June, which is when Jupiter moves into Leo. Which opportunities are actually worth focusing on? Where should your energy go? What deserves your commitment? Because Jupiter may offer many possibilities, but Saturn reminds us that we cannot pursue all of them at once. Okay, so Jupiter is moving forward again in Cancer, and you may remember that Cancer is the sign that rules or governs home, belonging, family, ancestry, and very, very importantly, our emotional foundations. So as Jupiter begins moving forward again, you might ask yourself, where in my life have I been asked to rebuild my emotional foundations? What beliefs about home, family, or belonging have been shifting for me? And where have I been holding on to a story that is no longer true? And perhaps the deeper question here is, where have I been shrinking because of these beliefs that come from or are rooted in home, family, and belonging? Okay. Please continue watching because in a moment I'll walk through the forecast for each sun and rising sign so you can see exactly where Jupiter is beginning to move forward in your chart. And welcome if you're new here. I'm Yolanda. I am a certified Western tropical astrologer and life coach, and my work is at the intersection of archetypal psychology, mythology, symbolism. And if all those things interest you, you are in the right place. Okay, so this is the chart for the Jupiter station at the moment of Jupiter stationing direct on March the 10th at 8:29 p.m. here Pacific time. And you will see that Jupiter is at 15 degrees of Cancer. And 15 degrees, by the way, is his degree of exaltation um, in Cancer. He is very powerful at this degree. So this is a very powerful, again, very important station. Is stationing at the degree of his exaltation in the sign of his exaltation. He just absolutely loves being in Cancer. And Jupiter is conjunct the star, the fixed star Canopus, which is a star associated with travel, but also a star of creativity, leadership, of the quality of Venus and Mercury. So in other words, it's a beautiful benefic star. And is also conjunct Sirius, which is the brightest star in the sky. Continuing, by the way, with this theme that I've spoken about earlier, Sirius is the brightest star in the sky, which means how bright are you willing to shine? So it's a star, connected to fame and fortune, but also one that carries grave warnings that if you are going to, rise up, if you're going to shine, be sure that you're shining from a place of authenticity and that you are not, not being fake or false about what it is that you're putting out there. It carries many warnings about being truthful and honest in your endeavors, etc. I'm not going to go spend too much time here on Sirius, but Sirius is a very powerful star, considered mostly benefic, but it does come, like I said, carry some grave warnings here. Anyway, needless to say, the fact that Jupiter is stationing at 15 degrees conjunct these two powerful stars is very important, very symbolic in itself. So what this tells me immediately is if you have any planets at around 13, 14, 15 degrees of Cancer, there is a very good chance that you are going to be traveling and that you have an opportunity to achieve, fame, acquire fortune, certainly influence and power over the coming year, over the next year. Okay, so now let's go into the signs. Let's begin with Aries. Aries, sun and rising. So the part of your life that is about to expand is your home. So you may be considering doing renovations. You may be buying even a new home, although I don't really see that happening. I see more of a renovation project happening. I see people coming to live with you. So you may have a parent coming to live with you, or a child returns and comes to stay with you, for example, or you have a baby. And so there's an additional family member now. There is also very, very strong possibility that you are traveling and that your home is really wherever you wherever you find yourself that night. So I can see you staying at various Airbnbs or with family overseas. Certainly there's this, the moon here in Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. You are traveling, or someone from a foreign culture or a foreigner is staying with you. That kind of setup is definitely happening. There is a chance that whoever is coming to stay with you, if you are not traveling and you have now a new roommate or someone staying in your house with you, it could be someone who has a disability, someone who needs to stay in bed longer, someone who's recuperating, that kind of vibe. So do let me know. But the area where you are expanding and experiencing growth, and remember, expansion and growth does not necessarily translate into fortune, money, and kind of thing. It means literally emotional expansion in this case because of Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer, where you are expanding emotionally, where your capacity to feel and to take care of others and to nourish others is growing. Again, the opportunity comes about by this person coming into your home. Could also be pets, but I definitely see it's more likely to be a person. Okay, so Aries, Sun and Rising, do let me know if that resonated. Leave a comment and do remember to like and subscribe. Taurus, sun and rising. So Jupiter is your third house of communication. Well, Jupiter is in your third house of communication and siblings and neighbors. So where you are expanding or the opportunities for your emotional growth and expansion. So your emotional foundations are expanding and growing are in terms of how you communicate, how you communicate, how you socialize, how you interact with your neighbors, with your siblings, with your uncles, your aunts. Um, and definitely, I've spoken about this in other videos, Taurus. You are definitely expanding your friendship network. You're making more friends, you're getting out there, you are communicating your truth, you're being more honest about what kind of people you want to hang out with, what kind of energy you want to associate with. You are probably doing something online. You may be starting your own YouTube channel, for example. You may be on Instagram, whatever it is, and there is growth. You're experiencing growth. So this is another area where you're going to experience growth is if you're online, you are going to definitely be growing, seeing the results of your hard work. You are going to put in hard work though, Taurus, Sun and Rising. Remember, you have to put in this work and you will see the results of this. And it could even be, Taurus, that whatever subject matters you are talking about or whatever subject is important for you to address at this time in order to expand has to do with deeply psychological things. Um, it could be also so-called taboo things or things that most people are not comfortable with talking about. For example, sex, death, taxes. So money things could also be coming about. You could be, I don't know, maybe you have a YouTube channel where you speak about money and finances. If that's the case, then this is just an excellent time for you. From now until June, you'll experience massive growth if you're putting in the work. Um, what else is there? You may receive a payout of some sort again. This is where, you receive some sort of payout, insurance payout. You may even receive an inheritance, and that will help you achieve some sort of goal, a dream that you have, or, again, something to do with it's a dream come true, though, a wish coming true. And I won't be surprised if it somehow expands your network, your reach. Okay, Taurus, Sun and Rising, do let me know if this resonated in the comments, and do remember to like and subscribe. Gemini, Sun, and Rising. So Jupiter is going to expand or help you grow your emotionally and help you in expressing yourself in your building your self-esteem, your worth, but also in your speaking, how you communicate your truth, your authenticity. Also helping you with your income, going to help you grow your income, more money coming in from now until June. You will definitely notice a rise or a raise in how much money is flowing towards you. And this is because of work that you put in, the effort you put in. And well done, Gemini. There's definitely reward coming in here. It is definitely connected to your career with the work you put in professionally. So again, it could be if you're employed, it could be a bonus after or a bonus or promotion that increases your income. But if you are self-employed, the work you put in to your whatever you're doing is manifesting at this point. From now until June, you're going to see money coming in. What else is happening there for you? New contracts, Gemini, new contracts, you could even be going into a business partnership at this time, possibly with a woman, and an increase in audience. More people are noticing you, more people are being made aware of you and your work. So well done, Gemini, Sun and Rising. Do let me know if this resonated for you. And do remember to like and subscribe. Cancer, Sun and rising. So yeah, Jupiter is cruising through your first house and helping you to expand, okay, not only your waistline, and Cancer, I'm one of you, I'm a Cancer Sun, and yeah, I have put on a lot of weight over the last year. And now that Jupiter's moving direct here, you may be aware that you have put on weight, that your waistline has expanded. Not to worry, do not stress too much about this. Jupiter will move on to Leo in June. But anyway, Jupiter is also helping you expand or grow emotionally. He's bringing you opportunities to grow as a person, as a feelings person. And you are, I mean, as it is Cancer, you're very compassionate. You're very nurturing. You like nurturing and feeding others. And so there's this increased opportunity coming up from now until June to feed more people, to be more loving, to be more compassionate. And where and how are you saying is this going to happen? Well, the chances are that you are going to be traveling. You are going to be traveling, and if you are not traveling, then it has something to do with publishing, law. So you could be winning a court case, for example. It could be a religious or spiritual retreat. You could be going to an ashram, for example, staying at a spiritual retreat or center. You could be publishing a book or writing a book. And all of that is highlighted at this time. And so for example, while you are writing this book, if you're pouring love and emotion in writing with feeling, then you are going to be rewarded for this. If you are dealing with foreigners and you are showing your compassion, it could be that you're volunteering. Um, but again, it's in a foreign place. You could be doing missionary work, for example. This is all very, very beneficial for you at this time, and you will feel the reward of this. You will benefit from this. I mean, I hate to sound this callous, but yes. Anyway, you are going to benefit. You're going to be rewarded for your compassion, for your presence in as a spiritual, not only as a spiritual leader or someone who is a teacher, but also someone who is a volunteer, an aide of some sort. And again, you may just be if you're not any of those things, if you're not doing any of that, say you're just traveling for fun, for leisure, you're going to have encounters with people who are going to appreciate your caring, your nurturing, your compassion. Do remember this, Cancer. You may already be aware of this happening. And then the other thing is your work. If you are expanding in the areas or thinking of expanding in your day-to-day work, whatever your job is, bringing elements of spirituality into it, meditation, you are also going to benefit from this. So meditation is going to be beneficial. Prayer is going to be beneficial. Um, yeah, even another thing, because I spoke about weight gain in the beginning, exercise. Exercising more, taking care of your body, you're going to benefit from that and achieve your goals. Again, while Jupiter's still in Cancer, you are not going to lose weight easily, but you're certainly going to be healthy and strong. Okay, Jupiter, Sun I mean, not Jupiter, Cancer, Sun and Rising. Do let me know if this resonated and do please like and subscribe. Okay, Leo, Sun and Rising. So, Jupiter in your 12th house has not been the best of it's not been the best of times for you. Especially when he was retrograde, because you had to really do some deep digging as to you probably felt, I mean, let me just interrupt myself here. You probably felt like things were stalling and not going in your favor. And it actually has a lot to do with your psychological, with your psyche, with your state of mind. Okay. And you probably felt like, not probably felt, you were probably made aware of the energy, not so much you're not so aware that you have know who the enemy is, but you are aware that there are enemies. So you felt almost persecuted in a sense. Now, do know this is a very real thing. You do have enemies. And where do you ask, do I have my enemies? Well, they are hidden, secretive, very clever enemies, and they're probably, at your place of employment. Nevertheless, Leo, good things are coming your way. Jupiter moves into your sign in June. So you are still going through a bit of a difficult time, but things are going to change by June. I can assure you that is happening. The good news is there is probably money coming your way. If you haven't received it yet, you are going to receive some sort of payout. It could be an insurance payout. It could be a inheritance. Um, it could even be a severance package, for example. It could be that you let go from your job and you now have a severance package. And let me tell you, that is going to be good if that's the case, because like I said, there are definitely enemies afoot. You may not really know who this enemy is, but someone has definitely, you know, put it like a target on your back kind of thing, or you felt it or you've been aware of it and you're not too sure of who this person is. And anyway, so if you I have a strong sense, I mentioned it in other videos, that it is probably work related or career related. But nevertheless, you are going to win. You are going to win in the end. Whatever may seem like it's not beneficial or it's not helpful to you at this time, actually is working in your favor. So I don't want you to stress too much about that. You are also going to be asked to expand, or Jupiter is asking you to expand or act on any creative impulses that you've had. Think back to 2020. What was seeded then? What hobby did you start then? Or what did you want to start? What, like, craft, what was it like an arty thing? Maybe you wanted to start painting. Maybe you wanted to start drawing, writing, taking photographs, whatever it is. Now is the time to really revisit that, Leo, and give it all you've got, because Jupiter is going to reward you ultimately with this. When he moves into your sign, you're going to see how that was a good move on your part. Okay, so Leo, do let me know in the comments if this resonated with you, and do remember to like and subscribe. Virgo, sun and rising. So Jupiter is asking you to expand or helping you expand in the areas of your 11th house, which is network, friends, groups, associations, but it's also a wish coming true. So Virgo, sun and rising, a wish is coming true from now until June of this year. Something wonderful is coming up, and it is probably related to a romantic or business partnership. So if you've been wanting to get serious with someone or move in with someone or meet someone important, there's a very good chance that this might be happening. Again, I don't have access to your birth chart, so I don't know for sure, but this is just a general overview. Chances are that you are going to meet someone important or special, or you have already and you're about to move in with them. So from now until June, you may move in with a person, a lover, or you may get into a business partnership. So this is good news for you, Virgo. And what else can I see there for you? Okay, that's basically it, Virgo. Do let me know in the comments if this resonated with you. And do remember to like and subscribe. Okay, Libra, sun and rising. Jupiter is in your career house and helping you to expand and grow emotionally, mostly in your career space, but he is going to bring you a promotion. I've said this before, I'm going to reiterate this. Him moving forward on March the 10th brings a promotion. Certainly, you're going to be recognized for your hard work, for everything you're doing at work. If it's not a literal promotion, I mean, if someone doesn't actually you know, give you a written promotion. Certainly, you are promoted and elevated in the eyes of your colleagues by some event, by something that you do. You are elevated. Okay, so you are elevated and in the consciousness of your colleagues and your bosses, your superiors. Um, this is, again, definitely job related. Things are going well with your career and with your job. Really, Libra, you cannot put a foot wrong now. You cannot, from now until June, know that you are the top dog at work. Really, you're doing very, very well. You're being recognized for your skills and your abilities. I want you, and I've said this before, I want you to start speaking up, stop shrinking. If you have done so, if you've been shrinking, if you're holding back, it is not in your favor. Your voice, your authority must come through at this time for you to benefit beautifully, magnificently from Jupiter at this time. Okay, so Libra, Sun and Rising, let me know if this resonated for you. Do leave a comment and do remember to like and subscribe. Scorpio, Sun and Rising. So Jupiter is cruising through your ninth house of travel and justice, the law, justice, philosophy, beliefs, religion, spirituality, that kind of thing. So chances, Scorpio, Sun and Rising, that you are traveling are very high. If you are not traveling, then you are certainly learning or going back to university or college, or you're publishing something. Yeah, probably writing a paper, writing a book, something like that. Wonderful time. This is where Jupiter is going to expand you, where he's wanting you to grow. And it's a very creative time for you, Scorpio, Sun and Rising. If you commit to, either, whatever it is, writing, art, whatever brings you joy, whatever's fun and pleasurable for you is going to benefit you, is going to bring you luck and expand opportunities, is going to open doors for you. Very important that you stop shrinking. If you have been shrinking, Scorpio, Sun and Rising, if you somehow been limiting or holding yourself back, now is not the time to do so. Do remember to stop doing that. And yeah, it's all about believing in yourself, believing in your art, believing in the work that you are creating from a place of joy. Okay, that is where you're going to experience expansion. So Scorpio, Sun and Rising, do leave a comment if this resonated with you, and do remember to like and subscribe. Sagittarius, Sun and Rising. So Jupiter is expanding your eighth house of, this is a very deep house. It's a house of other people's money, but also other people's help. So other people are willing and happy to help you at this time. It's the house of sex and death and intimacy, insurance payouts, inheritances, all the stuff, taxes. So you might be getting an unexpected tax payout. You may be getting an insurance payout, but certainly money is coming in, Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, and it's actually definitely going to boost your confidence. Whatever's going to come your way is going to boost your confidence. Again, this could be people willing to help you, and this is going to help boost your confidence. So if you've applied for a loan, you'll get this loan. If you've applied for, if you've approached someone for their support, they will help you. That kind of thing. Wonderful, wonderful time coming up for you, Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, from now until June of this year. And this money that comes in, you are probably going to put it towards real estate, towards your home. So you might buy a property, or you may renovate your home. Okay, let me know, Sagittarius, Sun and Rising, if this resonated with you, and do remember to like and subscribe. Capricorn, Jupiter is expanding your seventh house. In other words, blessing your seventh house of partnerships, romantic and business partnerships, but also expanding making you more visible. So if you have an online presence, Capricorn, Sun and Rising, you are now being noticed by others. So this is wonderful. More eyes are on you and on your work. Please note that what you have to do is learn to speak your truth, come from a place of authenticity, be the authority in whatever it is you do. Own that space. Don't shrink, don't hide. This is not the time to do so. From now until June, Jupiter is really sending you all these wonderful benefic rays, saying if you put in this work, because remember, he is in a square to Saturn. These two are demanding hard work, effort. If you put in that work, you are going to be recognized. You're going to be seen by others, recognized, exalted. Yeah, my sense here, Capricorn, is that what's holding you back is psychological stuff. It's shadow stuff that you have to work through, fear of being seen, fear of visibility. That might be the main issue at this time. Okay, Capricorn, Sun and Rising, do let me know in the comments if this resonated, and do remember to like and subscribe. Aquarius, Sun and Rising. So Jupiter is your sixth house, and he's expanding blessing your job, your everyday, whatever you do every day for work. He is also blessing you with health and well-being, especially from now until June. Whatever health goals you may have, is going to assist you in achieving those. It's going to expand opportunities for that, right? So you might find that you have many opportunities, many doors opening for those things. Many doors opening as well to gain you more clients, more work coming in. This is a wonderful time for you, Aquarius, Sun and Rising. Now, please excuse that ice machine in the background. Okay, what is very important here, so you're going to see a raise in money or more money coming in because of your job. But what is very important, the mission here or the lesson here is that you have to speak your truth. You must not shrink. You must not hide. You have to speak more. You have to be more visible. You have to show up, specifically show up online. Okay, that's the advice here. You have to show up online, be more visible, and then you will start attracting more clients and more work, especially if you're self-employed. If not, then your health is good. You may get a pet at this time. Those things are, what else? You may start meditating. You may start a morning practice. All of this is going to be beneficial for you over the coming months. Okay, Aquarius, Sun and Rising, let me know if that resonated with you in the comments, and do remember to like and subscribe. And then Pisces, Jupiter is expanding your fifth house of creativity and children and fun and pleasure. So yeah, you may become a parent around this time. So from now until June, you may become a parent, or you may become a grandparent, or if you may even find out that one of your children is getting married, or one of your children is pregnant, something like that. Certainly Jupiter is going to bless you with more opportunities for joy, for the expression of joy and pleasure, more fun times, more parties, definitely more parties, more times with friends, but also art, time for art, creativity. So crafts, art, writing, whatever brings you joy and pleasure. I do feel the strongest thing here, though, Pisces, Sun and Rising, is a change in your identity. So, for example, you may now identify as a grandparent, or you may suddenly identify as a parent. It's definitely a change of identity over the next few months from now until June. And if that's not resonating with you, then it could be that whatever hobby you start or have been thinking of starting since 2020 or did start in 2020 has now morphed into something more. In other words, if you started a book in 2020, it might be that you're now identifying as a writer, okay? That kind of thing. And yes, whatever is expanding and whatever beautiful expansion, joyous event here is happening is somehow impacting your career, your vocation. It may change your vocation. You may feel called to do something else, or you may have to take time off, right? But certainly it will impact your career and your vocation. Okay, Pisces, Sun and Rising, do leave a comment if this resonated, and do remember to like and subscribe.